Hi guys, welcome. And who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenville 10 where I cover the Saints. I am a fan. I love them as much as you do. We are the Who Dat Nation. We are the Who Dat family. I'm not a news provider. So the Saints will likely make a lot of roster moves between now and the regular season. And sometimes it's stuff that's just not really worth focusing too much on. If you're a Saints news provider, you get paid to do it, then you've got lots and lots to talk about, and you can spend hours talking about undrafted free agents or tryout players and stuff like that. And eventually, what it ultimately comes down to is maybe one or two of them make it. And to me, that'll be newsworthy. But that's not going to happen for a long time. But for right now, I will be showing you the new offense and the new defense post rookie minicamp. We've made a few moves, and I figure I'll show you the rosters and tell you what the moves were. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on any of this because you're going to fluctuate right now with a 90 player roster, and we're talking about the bottom of the roster. So if one of these players makes the team, that's going to be newsworthy. The fact that we're trying people out and people are participating and all this stuff, fine. I like to try to do a video or two a week. I do have a square job and it keeps me from putting out these videos constantly, but Saints providers that get paid to do this will tell you the news, and there's a bunch I follow. And a lot of it seems like wasted time to me because is this really going to come out to anything anyway? But here it is, the offense to start. We have added quarterback Hunter Deckers. He played last year in college at Iowa Community because he was with Iowa State as primarily a backup, but then he made a bet for his team to win. He got caught, so because of gambling, he had to leave. So he plays last year at Iowa Community, and then he was asked to try out during the rookie mini camps, and apparently the left-handed quarterback did pretty well, 6'2", and right now he's fourth on the depth chart. Well, we got to wait and see. I think one of the significant things about the few moves we've made post rookie mini camp is that I'm starting to feel like Kellen Moore wants to put his stamp on this team sooner rather than later, of course. But we're going to have to see. I mean, if this is a guy, if this is a quarterback that Kellen Moore has identified as a good quarterback, then, you know, Jake Hayner, beware. We have four quarterbacks now. It's typical in the offseason to have four quarterbacks going through training camp and everything else. But all I got to say is Jake Hayner, beware, because the more Kellen Moore brings players into this environment, on the team with his idea in mind of what he wants this team to be, then you got to look at the bottom dwellers of the roster from this past year and think these guys might not make it. An example of that is to make room on the roster for Hunter Deckers, we end up releasing running back Jordan Mims. Jordan Mims looked pretty good in the little bit of time he had. Probably had more time than he really needed because of the injuries at running back last year. But Mims looked fine and is definitely a guy I'd want on my practice squad or number 4 on the team. But I'm looking at our new coach saying, "Hey, look, I brought in all these other guys. You can see this depth chart. We have a lot of running backs on the roster right now. Not only the draft pick Devin Neal, but all of the younger players. I mean, he's telling Jordan Mims, go ahead and you know find a job somewhere else. You were here, you looked fine. This is Kellen Moore's team now. I don't know if Devin Neal's going to look as good as Jordan Mims. Jordan Mims looked fine. He didn't look great. So putting the stamp on this team. Another thing that happened is we gave Donovan Peoples-Jones, the wide receiver, veteran wide receiver, a tryout invitation at the rookie minicamp, and he made the most of it. And now he is on the teams. He signed a 1 year deal. He's 6'2". He's got a decent sized profile. He had a very successful campaign a couple of years ago with Cleveland. He spent last year with Detroit, and Detroit has a really good wide receiving room. So Peoples Jones didn't have much of any stats last year. I think he might have been bothered with an injury too, but certainly a guy that could come in here and make this team. I mean, if he would have been available last year, he would have probably started. That's the kind of situation we were in last year when we went and got Marquez Valdez Scantling. So let's see if Peoples Jones can make the roster. I've included Dante Pettis on this one. My last roster update, I forgot to write Dante Pettis down. I think he wasn't on the roster I was getting the info from, but he's here now, and we've got a crowded wide receiver room. But to sign Peoples Jones to a 1 year deal makes me think, yeah, there's a big chance that he can make this team with the size profile he has, and the fact that on a wide receiving core like Cleveland, Peoples Jones had a successful year. Harder to crack the roster on a team like Detroit, but the wide receiving core for the Saints might not be Detroit's wide receiving core. It's probably closer to Cleveland. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Nice. We'll see. I'm worried about the tight ends. Nobody's healthy right now. Taysom Hill's not healthy. Foster Morrow's not healthy. I think even Dallin Holker's experiencing something right now. So I'm hoping we get something going with the tight ends. And of course, I don't have the offensive line set in stone right now. Everybody's just thrown in there, and we're going to figure this out as we go. According to the reports, our first round rookie, Kelvin Banks Jr., spent time during the minicamp this past week. He spent time at left tackle, left guard. I think he even took a few snaps at right guard. So they were putting him everywhere just to see how he looks. It's part of the process, and they're going to figure it all out. We've got, some more off-season stuff going on this week, and I think that's going to include some veterans, and then we're going to get a better picture painted once these OTAs are going. So that is the offense right now. And I didn't have to mention quarterback. The retired quarterback who I did a video about, and that was going to be my last word on it, that quarterback's gone. And that video I did is the last word on it. I won't even mention his name. I'm not going to sit here and play nice and act like that guy did us a favor. No, 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 no. You did us no favors. You didn't want to come here. You're gone now. And when I heard, the first thing I thought was, how much money do we get? And then once the reporting finally got situated and they were able to explain when and how much money we were going to save, I wasn't about to give credit to a baby who didn't want to be here to begin with. I'm going to give credit to Jesus before I do that. Okay, so thank the heavens. We are on to a whole new chapter of the Saints. Let's take a look at the defense. And all of these defensive linemen can play either position they want. Outside linebackers here are mostly edge rushers, defensive end types. All of our true linebackers are smushed in the middle there. And we're going to have to see how all of this turns out in the offseason because we're not sure what's happening. Vernon Broughton at defensive end is going to play defensive tackle. And Cameron Jordan might not necessarily be your starting defensive end. Nathan Shepard's might not be a starting defensive end. All of that's pliable, and it's going to get set once we actually have practices with everyone involved and we start to get reports out of camp of who's playing what and who's playing with the first team and everything else. Then changes will be made. So the difference is the roster moves after the rookie minicamp. We have released safety Millard Bradford, who was an undrafted guy last year, and Millard Bradford looked really good to me. So in his place, we've decided to sign Terrell Burgess. Terrell Burgess was drafted by the Rams, I believe, when Brandon Staley was there. He spent time with the Giants and the Commanders since then, but I think Brandon Staley sees a role for Burgess, that player, that type of player. And this is another thing, another example of Kellen Moore putting his stamp on the team sooner rather than later. He's going to let Staley bring this guy in, and we're going to release a guy that we acquired last year, regardless of how he looked. Maybe Kellen Moore's not a fan of Millard Bradford, but I thought Bradford had a lot of upside, and Bradford's gone now. Perhaps he'll end up on our practice squad eventually, but we have signed Terrell Burgess. So interesting. I think he'll get some spot play. As far as camp goes, Quincy Riley didn't participate in the rookie camp. He's recovering from a surgery. It was a minor thing. He should be healthy and ready to go pretty soon. But other than that, it's hard to tell in rookie minicamp who's doing what. That was the defense. Most of the reports out of the rookie minicamp this past week were that Tyler Shuck looked good. He interviewed good. He made off schedule throws impressively, and it's all air going up against air. They may have had some 7-on-7 things, but quarterback Hunter Deckers was the only other quarterback there, and Deckers looked pretty good in most of those drills too. The off schedule throwing drill goes to Tyler Shuck by a mile. Deckers wasn't able to do that, but I think Deckers is just one of them guys. He's 23-year-old and a left-handy, and I don't see him competing for a starting job, but I don't see Jake Hayner doing that either. So my bet is we'll be releasing Hayner here before the season starts if Deckers keeps impressing. And Kelvin Banks will likely end up our starting left tackle, possibly our starting left guard. And yeah, that's pretty much it. These guys are going to have to practice, and we're going to have to go a couple of weeks in here and get these OTAs and then the mini camp going. And we're still going to have the roster in flux because we are going to be making a ton of moves. And I think Kellen Moore is going to put his stamp on this team. We're going to release some players we have, and we're going to bring some players in. We're wondering about a wide receiver. We get Peoples Jones. We were wondering about an extra cornerback. Well, that might be Asante Samuel Jr. We had him in for a workout. He's one of the top cornerbacks available in free agency right now. He says he definitely wants to play this season, and there's some rumors that he wants to play with the Saints. I know several teams are interested in Asante Samuel Jr. The real issue with Jr. is he played only 4 games last year. He had an injury. It's a neck thing, and apparently he has these stinger symptoms that just keep going. It's not a couple of weeks and then over with. I saw a report where he had surgery in April, and you know, maybe he'll be good to go physically. He's coming in here to work out, so he must be good to go now. But I think that there's these medical hurdles to be cleared. So I don't expect a guy like Asante Samuel to be signed for at least a couple more weeks. But like I said, we'll be doing a lot of different videos about the roster. I'm not sure I'll be able to keep up with all of the moves. I'm going to know about the moves when they happen. But it's going to have to be something worth talking about. Asante Samuel Jr., yeah, that's worth talking about. Peoples Jones at wide receiver, that's worth talking about. And you get another quarterback in Hunter Deckers. So that's my video today, guys. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I'm your friend or your coworker that loves the Saints as much as you do. You come here to see what my opinion is. I like to show some stuff so that you can actually see while I'm talking. A lot of these places, they will run through numbers and it just drives me crazy because I'm trying to keep it up instead of just showing it to me. Some places do show it to you from hosts that are so gung ho and everything's awesome and great and this is incredible. And I'm not like that. I'm not gung ho. I'm a little calm. I'm mundane, boring. Some people probably think I'm too slow. I suggest you put your playback speed to 1.25 when you watch my videos and yeah, because I'm not going to sit here and celebrate. So I tell you what, the most excited I got in this past draft was when we drafted Devin Neal. When the sixth round pick was announced and it was Devin Neal, this was my reaction. And yeah, that was about it. Everything else was okay, measured, composed. I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get too low. We were 2-0 last year and we look like world beaters. We barely managed to win 5 games. 5 games. We barely managed to win that. Okay. Were we good enough to win more if healthy? It looked like it, didn't it? I can't get too excited about the highs. I'm not going to get too low about the lows. I'm a measured guy. You leave your comments in down below for this video and for all my videos. You let me know what you think. If you want to be animated, go right ahead. If you want me to say that signing Donovan Peoples-Jones is incredible, that's not going to happen. I'm Joe. Until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?